worthy to be magnified. Yes. We're here today to magnify and lift up the name of the Lord. I know y'all didn't come out here with everything that's going on in the world.
All right. Man.
Just for form or for fashion.
All right.
You came to magnify and to glorify the name of the Lord.
Man.
Psalms 29 says to us, give unto the Lord, O ye mighty. Give unto the Lord glory and strength. Give unto the Lord the glory due unto his name. Worship the Lord in the beauty of holiness. Amen. The key word that I see there is where it says, give the Lord the glory that is due. Now, when something is due, that means that you have a bill to pay.
All right. All right.
Hopefully you paid your utility bill, your cell phone bill. Hopefully you paid your credit card bill. But there's one bill that you don't want to ever forget to pay.
All right.
And that is the glory that is due unto the name of our God. Let's give God the praise and the glory once again. Unto his children. At this time, we're going to have another selection, which will be followed by our devotional time, our scripture and prayer. Let's have another selection. Let's give our musicians a good praise.
You move, I fall. morning. Our scripture this morning comes from the book of John, 15th chapter, and it starts at the 12th verse. This commandment that you love one another, as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, that to lay down his life for his friends. You are my friend. If you do whatsoever I command you. No longer do I call you servant. For servant or a servant does not know what his master is doing. But I call you friend. For all things that I heard from my Father, I have made known unto you. John 15 chapter 12 to 15 verse.
Amen.
Amen.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we bow this morning. Thank you for this day. Thank you, Father, for my health and for my strength. We thank you most of all for your Son, our Savior, Jesus Christ. And we thank you this morning for being a mighty, mighty God. Grateful this morning for you allowing us all to gather here to offer up worship and praise. Grateful for your love, grateful for your peace, which you said in your word that if we would keep our mind stayed on you, you're able to keep us all in perfect peace. We're praying for peace throughout this land, throughout this world, and we just praying that you would just come into our homes and our hearts and make us all whole. We love you on this day. We thank you for all that you do. We pray for our pastor and his family. We pray for the entire ministry. You know what we need before we ask, so we cast all of our cares upon you this morning, for we realize that you do care for us. Bless those in the nursing home.
Yes,
Bless those that are in the hospital and the jail cell, wherever your people are in need. We pray that you will meet that need. Bless us and keep us all the days of our lives. In the mighty name of Jesus, I pray. Amen.
walk with thee.
Amen.
This is Father's Day.
Amen.
And I praise God for all the fathers who are here today.
Amen.
It's amazing that this song was brought to us today, just a closer walk with thee, because that's my father's go-to song. That's a closer walk with thee. He never sang a lot in church, but whenever he sang, he still sing it now. Just a closer walk with thee. So that took me right on home there on this Father's Day. So we're here today to give God the praise.
Amen.
We're here to gain a word from the Lord.
Amen.
So we want to look today at Genesis chapter 18. Chapter 18. And we want to notice what the Bible says in verse 19 of Genesis chapter 18. Genesis chapter 18 and verse 19. It says, "For I know him, but he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he has spoken." Amen. That's Genesis 18 and verse 19. The Lord says, "For I know him." For I know him. I want to thank God today for all the fathers of which the Lord can say, "I know him." I want the Lord to be able to say to me, as a father, "I know him." That word, "I know him," if you read it in the other versions, it'll say, "I have chosen him." I thank God that he has chosen me. If you are a father, God has chosen you. Now, when we talk about fathers, we're not talking about this biological thing that God does to bring life into the world. We're talking about a father. And I want you to know that fatherhood goes beyond biology. In other words, simply producing and bringing a child into the world doesn't make you a father.
All right. That's right.
Giving a child money every now and then doesn't make you a father.
All right.
A man can be a father to someone that they did not biologically, should I say, bring into the world. And can provide more nurture, more concern, and more care than the one that biologically brought them into the world. And so God says, "I have chosen you." If you know what it means to be a father, God says, "I have chosen you." It's a serious thing. And it's both a blessing and a privilege to be chosen by God. He says here, "For I know him, that he will command his household."
Amen.
And that word command does not mean that one just goes around and throwing that weight around. That's not what that word command means. That word command means to instruct. For I know that he will instruct his children. In other words, I know that he will pour into his children wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And that is what makes a father.
Amen.
For I read in the law of the Lord, where the Lord says, he says, "And thou shalt teach them diligently." And when it says diligently, that means intentionally.
Yes, sir.
It means repeatedly. You know the expression, boy, have I told you that before? Repeated instruction. Patiently instruct. I want to thank God for those fathers who patiently instruct their sons and their daughters. And then he goes on to tell us, and thou shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house. Talking about talking with them in thine house concerning the ways of the Lord.
Amen.
Talking to them in the house about their purpose and about God's plan for their life. And it says, when thou walkest by the way. In today's language, we would say when you're driving along the highways and the byways, get those earbuds out your ear. And let's have a little discussion about what the future is going to bring. And God's expectations of you as a man and as a woman in this society. When thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, that means that before you go to bed, and when thou rises up, that means when you get up in the morning. So that means that the Father is constantly pouring into his children. Because not only are his children depending upon him, but his children's children and generations that will follow are depending upon that Father pouring in to his children. But then it says in Genesis 18, he says here that he will command his children, his household after him. After him. And if something is after, that means that something comes before.
Amen.
So that means that the Father, we thank God for those fathers, are to set the tone. They are the ones who are setting the pace. He said, I will command his household after him. Amen. And see, the Father goes first, and the family follows. But you see, God holds the Father responsible. And the reason why godly fathers are so concerned about their families is because they recognize that they must answer to the Most High God.
All right.
We must answer to the Most High God.
Amen.
And if you remember, when the first fall of man in the book of Genesis, if you remember that the world didn't get into trouble when Eve ate the fruit. The lions were just as peaceful. The wolves were getting along with the lambs. Everything was serene, everything was beautiful. But when Adam took of that fruit, that is when the world fell apart.
All right.
Because the covenant was not made with Eve.
All right.
The covenant was made with Adam. And so when God moved through the garden, he did not say, Eve, where art thou? But rather he said, what? Adam, where art thou? And God is asking this question today to the fathers of this generation, Adam, where art thou? In other words, we must command our households after us. Then it says here, the reason is because God said, I want them to keep the way of the Lord. You see, in this time, there were many, the majority were worshiping idols. And they had many gods that they were worshiping. And Abraham and his family, they were the only ones who were worshiping the true and the living God who created the heavens and the earth. Mm-hmm. And so they had a lot of pressure to go back to worshiping other gods. And so you see, Abraham had to be faithful to pour into his household so that they would not fall back into worshiping other gods, but that they may keep the way of the Lord. That they will maintain the worship of the Lord. I heard John say that I have no greater joy than to know that my children are walking in truth. The Father's greatest joy. Yes, it's a joy to see your children graduate from high school. It's a joy to see your children grow up and get married. It's a joy to see your children graduate from college and to make a career for themselves. But the thing that should cause you to be most joyful is to know that your children are walking in truth.
All right.
And what is the truth? Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but by me. Amen. But I want you to know today that there are also other gods that are out there today. And that's why we have to pour into our children even more so. Mm-hmm. There are other gods that are out there. The gods of materialism. If I see it, I got to have it. Mm-hmm. Right. We're more in this society thing-oriented than we are people-oriented. Mm-hmm. More thing-oriented than we are God-oriented. Because the society is falling back into the worshiping of other gods. The gods of greed. In other words, I'm going to get it if I have to push everybody down to get it. And once I get it, I can't have enough. I got to get more, and I got to run over more people to get what I want to get. The God of greed. And our society, our economy is based on greed. Mm-hmm. And then there is the God of self. And since we've gone into this technical age, men are more and women are more concerned about their image and how they appear on social media than they are their own characters. For you see, when God looks at you, he's not so much concerned about your image than he is about the condition of your heart.
All right.
And so you ought to be more concerned about how you look to God than how you look to other people. Amen. It is time for God's people to stand up and begin to keep the way of the Lord. Amen. Then it says here, Genesis chapter 18, he goes on to tell us here, in Genesis chapter 18, he says, in verse 19, he says, to do justice and judgment. Mm-hmm. Oh, I tell you, this justice and judgment is something that is almost a foreign language in this world today. You see, Abraham didn't just have a family of 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. There were 1,000 people in Abraham's household. And so there were a lot of disputes. There were a lot of arguments. There were a lot of challenges between the members of Abraham's household. But the foundation of the community of which he led was that of justice and judgment. And if you ask the question, what is justice and judgment? That means that you treat everybody, I don't care who they are, with respect, dignity, and with the understanding that they are valuable. I don't care who they are valuable to the Almighty God. Amen. Justice and judgment means that Abraham was all about not showing partiality to some and a lack of courtesy and consideration for others.
All right.
He was not one that played favoritism for those who were most influential,
Yes.
and to disregard those who didn't have a voice.
Yes. Yes.
Justice and judgment means that we don't take advantage of other people's weakness.
All right.
We don't take advantage of other people's pressing needs.
Yes.
It means that we don't take advantage of other people's ignorance.
All right.
That's what it means to be about judgment and justice.
All right.
Judgment and justice mean that if you have caused somebody to lose out,
Yes.
either willingly or by accident,
Yes.
that you go out of your way to make restitution for whatever has been lost, for whatever has been damaged, for whatever has been taken, for whatever has been destroyed. Saying I'm sorry is not enough.
All right.
You can't call somebody home and cause them to lose money or lose property and just say, well, I'm sorry, please forgive me. No, justice and judgment means that you go out of your way to make restitution.
That's right, amen.
And I want you to know this country is a long way from making restitution to those that they have taken from and those that they have robbed to the beginning of the foundation of this country.
All right.
Justice and judgment means not placing burdens on other people that you yourself will not bear.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
If you think sweeping that floor is beneath you, don't ask me to sweep it.
All right.
If you think cleaning that toilet is beneath you and such a burden, then don't ask me to do it.
Yes. Yes.
Justice and judgment is about that I will not place a burden on you that I will not place upon myself. Justice and judgment is about standing up for the oppressed.
Yes.
Not just talking about it, but standing up for those that are oppressed and persecuted. And that's what Father Abraham was all about. And the Lord said here in Genesis chapter 18 and verse 19,
Yes, Lord.
it says that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he has spoken of him. And because Abraham poured into his family, because Abraham was faithful to his divine assignment, Father Abraham received a mighty blessing from the Lord. Father Abraham increased in his cattle and his sheep and in his oxen. Because of Father Abraham's faithfulness to his divine assignment. And I want you to know that if you are a father, you have a divine assignment. And because Abraham was faithful to his divine assignment, the land in which he dwelled began to prosper. And it yielded a mighty increase. And everybody knew that Abraham was blessed because he was faithful to his assignment. Because of the faithfulness of Father Abraham, God went on to bless his offspring. I hear the word of the Lord coming down to Abraham. Coming down to Abraham's through your offspring, I will bring blessings upon all nations. And because of the blessing of the Lord, Abraham, through a miracle of the Lord, went on in his old age, and he begot him a son by the name of Isaac. And Isaac got blessed. And because of his father's faithfulness, I said because of his father's faithfulness, Lord have mercy.
Yes, sir.
Isaac went on and begot him a son by the name of Jacob. Jacob went on and got blessed, and went on and begot him a son by the name of Joseph. And the brothers of Joseph got jealous and sold him as a slave into the land of Egypt. And let me tell you something, because God blesses you as a father. I want you to know that your children are blessed. And even if they are mistreated, they cannot hinder the blessing of the Lord. And so the brothers of Joseph got jealous and sold him as a slave into Egypt. And God remembered faithful Abraham. And Joseph got blessed and went on to become a mighty prince in the land of Egypt. A mighty famine arose in Canaan. And Joseph went ahead and secured his family in the bountiful land of Egypt. Generations came and went, and a Pharaoh arose and treated them as cruelly as a human being can treat a people on the earth. But God remembered faithful Abraham and sent him to the people in the land of Egypt. Sent them a deliverer by the name of Moses. Y'all remember Moses, don't you?
Yes, sir.
The children of faithful Abraham went in as a small band of people. And after many generations, they came out stronger, more numerous, and more prosperous than they were when they went in. They went in as a band of 70 people. And they came out 3 million strong. Don't you tell me what my God cannot do. I don't care about the difficulties. I don't care about the obstacles. I don't care about the meanness and the cruelty of other people. Don't you tell me
Yes, sir.
what my God cannot do.
Amen.
And the surrounding nations began to tremble as they realized that this was a mighty nation and that they were the people of the Lord. And so what I'm here to tell you today is that when you are faithful to your assignment as a father, a mother, or whoever, let me tell you something, that the favor that you receive as a result of your faithfulness to your divine assignment will extend beyond this generation.
Yes, sir.
And it will bless not only your children,
Amen.
but that blessing will also fall on your children's children.
Right.
Those blessings will outlive the present generation. If you will simply be faithful to your divine assignment.
Amen.
Oh yes, You're going to have difficulty.
Yes.
Oh, yes. You're going to have trials and tribulations.
Amen.
Oh, yes. Unexpected calamities will take place in your life. But keep on being faithful to your divine assignment. Keep on pouring in to these children. Keep on pouring in to the next generation. And I promise you, not only will God bless you with his favor, but he will bless not only your children, but also their children, and for many generations. And God's name will be praised. And when they ask your children and your children's children, how is it that you are so blessed? They will be able to say, because I had a father,
Yes, Lord.
because I had a mother who knew how to pray. Why is it that you're so blessed? Because I had a father and a mother who poured out the word of the Lord on the inside of me. And because of their faithfulness, I'm standing here today.
Yes, Lord.
And the reason why I'm so great, reason why I'm so successful, is not because of anything that I have done, because I'm standing on the shoulders of those who fear the Lord. I'm standing on the shoulders of those who knew how to get a prayer through. I'm standing on the shoulders of those who knew how to say,
Amen.
let us go
Yes.
into the house of the Lord. May God's name be praised. May his name be praised. May his name be praised. Our God is faithful. Our God is faithful. His promises are true. Nobody can deny his favor in your life. Go ahead on and be faithful. And give our God the praise. He deserves.
Amen.
What a wonderful God we serve. All right.
Amen.
Amen.
This time we're going to stand together, musician. Closes us on out. And before she brings to us this next selection, if you've not made a decision for Christ, if you've not made a decision to accept Christ as your Savior, this is your opportunity. This is your opportunity. Let's stand together. If you desire to give your life to Christ, just lift your hand in the air. If you want to accept Christ for the first time, while our musician prays for the next song.
Who knows what tomorrow brings? In a world where few hearts survive,
commemorate the death of our Lord. We commemorate the fact that the death that he died was for you and me. This time we're going to take our emblem. The bread represents the body of Jesus Christ. He said to them that night before he was crucified, "This is my body, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me." And he said, "Take and eat ye all of it." That same night in which our Savior was betrayed, he said, "The blood that I shed for you is represented by this wine." He said, "This represents the blood that I shed for you for the remission of sins." And he said, "Take and drink ye all of it." Amen. 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 May God be praised. May the Lord be praised. We want to thank the Lord for another lesson we have received today in the house of the Lord. At this time, we're going to dismiss. And we want you to know that we're going to exit out of these doors right here. We're going to exit by rows. Once the first row has exited, the next row can exit as well. And so each row will exit after the previous row has completed exiting. You may also place your offering in the offering trays on your way out as well. May the Lord bless you.